Lý Sơn, an island off the south central coast of Vietnam. It's one of the most fascinating geological creations in the country, formed by volcanic activity around 24 million years ago. When viewed from space, you can see two massive craters visible from tens of thousands of meters above. What's even more remarkable is that, thanks to its rich volcanic soil and other unique conditions, this island is the one and only home to Vietnam's most valuable and expensive garlic. A kilo of this garlic can cost up to $70, and even if you find it, it's hard to know if you're getting the real thing. Immediately, you can taste the sweetness of the garlic.
It is pretty. Oh, there is a little bit of a burn.
Yeah, everyone says so. They found out it has lots of health benefits.
Our journey on this island will also reveal many of its unique landscapes. But the scooter adventure to get there is also crazy on its own. It took us almost 3 months to cover 580 kilometers through unpredictable weather and unexpected events. And since Lý Sơn Island belongs to Quảng Ngãi province, we'll also get a chance to explore some of Vietnam's most ancient cultures with burial traditions involving jars and pots. So we hope today's journey and insights help you enjoy your travels in Vietnam even more. Now let's get started.
We've explored nearly half of Vietnam, reaching the final stretch of our journey through the highlands and south central coast. Each place we've shared with you wasn't just about adventure. It was about bringing you the insights and experiences that could inspire you to hop on a motorbike and explore this beautiful and safe country yourself. It's been 54 days since we set off on this journey, covering 3,243 kilometers across 24 cities and provinces. Yet, nothing from our past adventures compares to what's ahead as we head towards Quảng Ngãi. Starting from a farm in the last province, we braced ourselves to take on the rain for a 160-kilometer ride to Quảng Ngãi, a journey that will take almost 4 hours.
There are lots and lots of road trippers like us here, riding their scooters around, having their raincoats on. We don't feel left out too much here.
Yeah, not at all.
Considering this is a far-flung area, this is awesome.
We have a little landslide up ahead. I think it looks pretty wet.
Very much. Along with our clothes and backpacks.
I can feel myself soggy already. My fingers and toes are frozen.
Wood is ending, so the cool weather is gonna end soon.
Here we got some bumper tires. That means that over the ravine is so deep, they don't want you falling.
160 kilometers feels like a lot, and even more so when it's raining. Thankfully, this route makes up for it with breathtaking scenic views from the mountain peaks. The landscape is so captivating that we hardly notice the time passing, even though we're drenched to the bone.
It's like valleys on both sides, man.
If you've heard of the iconic terrain in northwest Vietnam, where roads cling precariously to steep mountain slopes, this one might remind you of that. Though I'd say it's about 40% as intense.
We're stuck behind a potato truck.
I still cannot believe that just half an hour ago we were all the way up on the mountain looking down to this area, but now we're here riding around. I just gassed the scooter up. We had a little bit of a 15-minute break, and we also had enough time to drink a little bit of coffee.
We're only 1 hour and 20 minutes away from our final destination, thank goodness. But hey, the ride so far has been beautiful, even if it's been raining. Look at the mist going over the mountains, that's stunning.
Absolutely stunning.
A rider didn't like the word stunning in a funny voice. I was like, he's gonna do it, for sure. And then lo and behold, you did.
So it seems like we are finally in the city of Quảng Ngãi. We started having some street light.
And it stopped raining. Woo!
Negotiation for the hotel room is successful. Now let's check our stuff and all the luggage in.
How much did you get it to?
$250.
Wow. Someone's bargaining skills are great.
Hey, we got a window to nowhere.
We just got warned this morning. I got up and then I looked at my phone to check the weather forecast. The rain is not going to stop within 5 days or 6 days. During that time, we're not going to be able to go anywhere.
Home is only 2 hours away. And we can always drive back the 2 hours. I mean, we've done 2 hours before, so it's not that big of a deal anymore.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we decided to do.
So we have to put our backpacks inside plastic bags to keep the kickback from the road from dousing our bags with muddy water.
Okay, I have my wallet, I have my phone, I have my computer, and I have the writing pad.
You have your phone, the navigation phone, and I put your computer in a plastic bag.
So from here back to our apartment in Da Nang, it's gonna take us 2 hours and 18 minutes according to this navigation phone, and the distance is gonna be 124 kilometers.
Our more than 2-hour ride home was powered by sheer determination and a longing for the comfort of home, even as the stormy rain grew heavier. At one point, we had to pull over at a gas station to grab a second-hand raincoat for Maddie. If braving this kind of weather isn't your thing, it's best to avoid traveling from October to December. By around 3 p.m., we finally arrived at our apartment complex, safe, sound, and soaked.
Now we are finally back in Da Nang. It took us 3 hours to get from the last city back home, and the entire time it rained. When you're going at a high speed on the scooter and the rain is coming down and you're going into it, it hurts sometimes. It feels like almost a piece of gravel or a small rock hits you in the face. So David was on the front of the scooter. He was taking like the brunt end of it, but he got us back home safe and sound yesterday. So with all of this rain, we probably won't be able to hit the last 2 places until maybe next month. But I have to admit, I am pretty happy to finally be home and sleeping in my own bed, having my own items, and just my choice of clothes finally. Living out of that little suitcase for so long, I've become accustomed to just choosing those small items, but now that we're home, I'm kind of like, whoa, I got a lot of clothes now. I have my pick of the lot.
Well, it took us quite a while, but the nice sunny weather is finally here again. After almost 2 months of traveling around Vietnam on our scooter, we've learned some valuable lessons about staying safe and comfortable on the road. One key takeaway: wear more protective layers. A good windproof jacket is a must, and if it's water resistant, even better. It'll handle those unexpected rain showers like a champ. Most importantly, invest in a reliable full-face helmet.
Is that how it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if you're riding safely, a full-face helmet does more than just protect your head. It shields your face and eyes from wind, rain, and all the surprises the road might throw your way.
Today, we're scooting 200 kilometers to a town called Duc Pho, a standout destination in the province known for its unique natural landscapes and rich cultural heritage. Our plan is to spend the whole day tomorrow exploring the town, and the day after, we'll hit the road again to visit the volcanic and garlic island of Li Shun. But plans don't always go smoothly. We hit a snag today. Quickly had to pull over. David thinks we have a flat. And it is our first flat tire after traveling almost half the country. The best practice in this situation is to check the tire for any sharp objects, remove them if possible, and then walk the vehicle to the nearest repair shop. Luckily for us, the shop was just 50 meters away. Talk about good fortune.
He told me it was kind of weird. So he was also surprised at how the heck that the tire was flat and there were 2 holes. But anyway, with this kind of gloominess, I think it's gonna rain along the way. So we have to get back on the road.
All right, time to head out.
Cook-a-doo-doo-doo. 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 Cook-a-doo-doo-doo.
I can't even hear you. Are you saying something?
I know you can't really hear anything. I'm saying something. Okay?
So just discovered a new problem with these helmets. I cannot hear David at all. Now we only have like 1 hour and 20 minutes left. Hopefully by the time that we get there, it is not going to be raining.
So today was all about cruising to Đức Phổ town. And by the way, we managed to dodge the rain and ended the day with some amazing sleep.
Now we are in Sa Huỳnh or Đức Phổ district. This is where experts and archaeologists have found out a culture called Sa Huỳnh as well. It's one of the most significant prehistoric cultures in Vietnam that shaped up the way that people went around, traded and maintained their culture. And this culture is very well known for the way that the ancient people back then buried their dead or deceased people. So for today's itinerary, we're gonna go around Sa Huỳnh or this area to see how beautiful the road is or the community is. But at the same time, we're gonna head to that communal museum to see some of the artifacts and also items, very valuable items about that culture as well.
Yeah, that's right. But first things first.
Got a bowl of piping hot noodles for breakfast and a purpose breakfast steak.
We have some fish cakes in our little soup bowls because this is a very good place for some fresh fish cakes.
Considering we're still right next to the sea. This one is pretty good. The soup's mildly flavored. It's not like overpowering. I think it's perfect for like breakfast. Especially since our stomachs are just waking up.
The first thing to notice about this town is its serene atmosphere and charming topography. Riding along its roads is an excellent way to take in the beauty as the standout landscapes are concentrated within this small, picturesque area. Many people consider this road one of the most beautiful in Quang Ngai province, winding around mountains on one side while being flanked by 2 well-known lagoons on the other. Perhaps it's this livable and favorable environment that made this place the heartland of the Sa Huỳnh culture, which dates back more than 3,000 years. Do you remember the Đông Sơn culture we mentioned in episodes 40 and 41, renowned for their advanced bronze working techniques? That culture is around 300 years younger than the Sa Huỳnh culture, which is celebrated for its advanced iron tools and Dora burial practices. However, the oldest among these ancient cultures is the Dong Nai culture, which dates back roughly 4,000 years and pioneered early metalworking with both bronze and iron in Vietnam. Together, these 3 cultures played a pivotal role in shaping the country's Metal Age civilizations.
As we delved deeper into the discovery of this ancient culture, we found that it all began with locals stumbling upon large ceramic jars containing human remains and artifacts. These unintentional findings soon caught the attention of a French archaeologist named M. Vinet, who was the first to document them. In 1909, near this lagoon, Vinet discovered a vast field of burial urns, many of which are now preserved and displayed in the museum or the nearby exhibition facility that we'll visit shortly. But why did the ancient people choose this land as their home? Theories vary, but they all point to the area's favorable geography, natural resources, and strategic location. The combination of mountains, lagoons, and coastline provided a rich environment for farming, fishing, and hunting. Additionally, the land was rich in iron and other minerals, enabling the casting of essential iron tools like axes and spearheads for daily use. Artifacts also suggest that this culture had connections to maritime trade networks with other Southeast Asian societies, indicating that they were not only skilled in farming, but also engaged in trading.
Wow, look at all the fishing boats.
So we are now at the one and only fishing port or harbor of the entire area. This one is called Sha Huing Fishing Harbor, where all of the fishermen anchor their boats and ships.
It seems pretty protective in this area because I know just on the other side of those hills over there, there's the sea. And then right on the other side of all the fishing boats, there's a fish farm, right?
Yeah.
The two lagoons in the area is An Khe and the nearby saltwater lagoons, serving as a safe harbor and water body for fish farming. Interestingly, while An Khe Lagoon isn't particularly large, its uniqueness lies in being a freshwater lagoon located right next to the sea. Adjacent to it is a saltwater lagoon that hosts one of the largest salt fields in central Vietnam, producing around 8,000 to 9,000 tons of salt annually. The production season runs from March to August, taking advantage of the dry and hot weather. This is also the best time to witness the stunning sight of the fields where farmers manually showcase their traditional salt-making techniques. Unfortunately, since our visit was in January, we missed the spectacle. Instead, this was what we saw.
So the area that we're in right now is supposed to be a salt field, but because of the water level during this time, they probably can't produce any salt. So what they did instead is turn these into shrimp farms.
This whole area is huge, and if this whole field is used to make salt, I have no idea how beautiful this whole thing is gonna be.
So instead, we are right now heading to the museum. I was really intrigued when David told me last night that there was an ancient culture here, and I was kind of confused. I was like, ancient culture? Is it the people here that are still practicing that culture? Or how did it contribute to the culture in Vietnam overall? Man, this road to the museum must be really difficult to find.
Museum is there, I think.
Was it easy to find this place?
Not at all.
It wasn't easy for us to find this one since it's not a popular museum, and the museum is only open from Monday to Friday.
From the archaeological digs. So this is one of the burial pots. It's all cracked. Another burial jar. One of the tombs. So in this museum, they have photos lining the wall of some of the archaeological digs, and they just give little bits and pieces of the detail about where the photo was taken, what you can see in the photo, and who there was at the dig.
If all the archaeological excavations for this culture began in 1909, it's no surprise that its practices have long disappeared from everyday life. Interestingly, the town we're in is believed to be the origin of this culture, which later spread to nearby provinces and islands. Many burial sites similar to those found here have been unearthed, further revealing its historical significance. The artifacts and cultural heritage of this civilization are precious, yet the museum experience leaves something to be desired. Despite housing about 250 photographs, 122 artifacts, and a handful of displays, there's a noticeable lack of interactive elements. This could explain why the museum has yet to become a must-visit destination, even though it uniquely showcases the craftsmanship and the cultural practices of the Sha Huing people.
Speaking of their craftsmanship, the artifacts here demonstrate that the ancient Sha Huing people were skilled in fishing, farming, trading, and salt making. But aren't the people here still doing the same things these days? Granted, with better tools and technology, but somehow part of the Sha Huing people's tradition has been picked up and carried on by the later-day ancient Cham people and the modern-day Vietnamese. Fishing, farming, and salt making remain integral to life here. However, one striking difference is the Sha Huing people's unique burial practices. They used large terracotta or red-brown clay jars as coffins, which held the cremated remains or skeletal fragments of individuals. Grave goods such as jewelry and weapons were found in these jars as they were believed to assist the deceased in the afterlife. The size of the jars and the quality of grave goods likely reflected the individual's social status. Okay, David, I have a really important question for you.
Yeah.
After seeing those jars, have you decided how you want to be buried after you die? Do you want to be buried at sea, buried in a coffin, cremated, or in a jar?
Wow, that's very interesting because visiting a prehistoric museum like this to learn more about our heritage that happened a long, long time ago, to embark on the appreciation for our own existence, not to determine whether or not we are going to be buried at sea when we die or in a jar. Crazy.
To end our day in this peaceful town, we enjoyed a dinner of wraps at a street-side eatery. But these weren't just any wraps. They were served with grilled pork chops and pork rolls wrapped in the lote leaves. Absolutely satisfying.
The next leg of our journey takes us to the volcanic and garlic island of Lishan. Getting there is quite the adventure. First, a nearly 2-hour ride to Shaki port with a few iconic scenes of the province. Then, a 35-minute passenger boat ride to the island. The express boat ride here was much better compared to the one we took to Phuket Island. At this port, you can choose between two types of vessels: express boats, which take about 1 hour, or super express boats, which cut the journey to just 35 minutes. Both are reasonably priced, costing between 160,000 to 180,000 dong per adult.
Okay, the boat finally came to a halt and we have to get off.
Just a heads up, once you arrive on the island, you'll be greeted by a lively crowd of locals offering services from transport to accommodation. Their offers are pretty decent, and since David took charge, we quickly hopped onto a scooter with a friendly local lady who took us to her hotel. If you're not looking for anything fancy, a hotel room here costs around 250,000 dong per night. With our scooter left behind, we rented a moped for 120,000 per day to explore the island.
Unfortunately, we lost the rest of the footage we filmed today, but it worked out because Maddie wasn't feeling great, so we decided to take it easy and rest up at the hotel, saving our energy for the adventures tomorrow.
Alright, let's go this way.
Do you even know where we're going?
No.
Just kidding. With only one full day today to explore the island, of course, I know where we're going.
Can't go any further out?
I'm content here.
Really?
Really?
Our first destination is Tawfor Arch, an interesting natural landmark shaped like an arch. It's a popular place on this island to take stunning photos, especially during sunrise and sunset when the lighting brings out its natural beauty.
Okay, what do you think about this whole thing?
I think it is quite grand, but at the same time, because we're so high up, there's no railings, I want to go back.
Woo! You made it!
Please walk carefully. You walk too close to the edge, man.
The arch itself is just a small part of this impressive lava rock formation. Take a look at the entire slab I'm on. It's absolutely massive.
Look at the rock here, Maddie. Because the volcano is right up there. Just think about how it erupted millions of years ago. So the lava just got blown out and flew here. And when it got exposed to the cool sea water, these slabs were formed.
So when we first came here, I was too busy looking down at all of the lava rock slabs that I almost forgot to look up. Look at the way the sun rays dance through the clouds, and it makes it look all puffy, almost like it's something out of a movie or something that someone would paint only in a painting. All right, when you're walking through here, be very careful. Don't step on any crabs. If you see a crab, pick it up so we can eat it later.
this area has a lot of trash and garbage.
That is probably washing in from other parts of Vietnam. Right now the sun is rising, it's gonna be perfect. So let's go to the next outdoor spot first. Okay, I'm getting on then.
Lý Sơn Island, originally known as Cù La Ré and locally called Đảo Lớn, the Big Island, forms the main part of Lý Sơn district. This district also includes two smaller islets, An Binh, the small island to the northwest, and Mù Cu, a tiny islet to the southeast. Together, they create an interesting little archipelago in the East Sea. Geologists believe that Lý Sơn was shaped by volcanic activity around 25 to 30 million years ago, leaving behind dramatic landscapes of craters, mountains, and striking volcanic formations like the arch we explored earlier. Our next destination is another stunning natural marvel, Hang Câu or Fishing Cave. By its name, it seems to be a popular spot for fishing, but we'll see for ourselves soon. To get there, we'll ride through residential areas, cemeteries, and vast fields of garlic and shallots.
With a population of around 22,000, most locals rely on agriculture and fishing for their livelihoods. Garlic farming in particular has a long history here, believed to have started in the 17th century when Vietnamese settlers arrived. Recognizing the fertility of the island's volcanic soil, they began cultivating garlic and shallots. Over time, garlic farming became a cornerstone of the local economy, earning Lý Sơn the nickname Kingdom of Garlic.
On the rack, they have some garlic. So I'm gonna try out to see like how dense the essential oil is. Whoa, it smells really good.
Really?
It is sweeter and less pungent than garlic grown elsewhere on the mainland.
Immediately you can taste the sweetness of the garlic, and then as you bite in and then you chew it up, it's not spicy at all. Let me peel one for you.
Okay.
Not only is the garlic sweeter and less pungent, but the shallots grown here are also incredibly aromatic.
It is pretty. Oh, there is a little bit of a burn. You lied to me.
Not that much.
How much is it for the garlic wine?
This wine is priced at only 80,000 per half liter, and many enjoy a glass or two during meals to aid digestion. And this is black garlic.
Black garlic? Is it expensive?
This jar is 160,000.
But how do you make it?
White garlic is fermented at a controlled low temperature and high humidity over several weeks to produce black garlic, which is used in various products, including the black garlic wine made here. The entire process can be done with a cooker, with time and electricity being the primary costs.
Then how much is the solo garlic here?
It costs over 1 million, but you can't buy it now since it's out of season.
The reason it is so expensive is because this garlic is so condensed with the essential oils that it has such a powerful taste and smell.
Here's an interesting comparison. Have a look at this nutritional chart comparing Lý Sơn solo garlic to the world-renowned Himalayan solo garlic. The numbers for Lý Sơn garlic are slightly higher across the board, raising the question as to why hasn't it gained some global fame. The key standout is its high allicin content, a compound known for its many health benefits, boosting immunity, lowering blood pressure, reducing cholesterol, and combating inflammation. Research even suggests that allicin may inhibit the growth of certain cancer cells, including those in the stomach and colon.
With such impressive quality, it's no wonder a kilo of this garlic can fetch up to $70. But even at such a price, sourcing genuine Lý Sơn solo garlic is a challenge. Why? Because it can't cultivate it intentionally. It's entirely nature's gift. How do you grow solo garlic here, Auntie?
I wish I knew, but we can identify which plants might produce it, like this one.
Garlic is planted in October during the fall and grows into seedlings by winter. When spring arrives, the warm climate helps garlic sprouts mature rapidly in the soil. During this time, if the temperature and sunlight are favorable, the garlic sprouts produce multiple young shoots. These shoots grow quickly and store nutrients, forming the typical multi-clove garlic. However, if garlic is planted during the warm spring season, the young sprouts are immediately exposed to high temperatures and prolonged sunlight. These conditions are unfavorable for the growth of multiple shoots, causing many to wither and leaving the plant with only one sprout. This single sprout then develops into solo garlic, which is exceptionally high in nutrition. Although planting garlic in the warm spring season can result in a much higher yield of solo garlic, the overall production is significantly reduced, often leading to financial losses for farmers. For this reason, they only plant when it's best. However, when unfavorable weather impacts the usual crop on this island, solo garlic becomes the farmer's only hope of salvaging their harvest.
So a crop of shallots will only take them 2 months, while the garlic crop will take them about 4 months. And the soil here is the main factor that makes the essential oil of the garlic very dense, like Maddie already mentioned before. But in order to maintain, or in order to make the soil more cultivable and very favorable for growing the garlic, they have to go somewhere else on this island to buy some other types of soil in order to mix it all up.
They lay volcanic soil at the bottom, then new sand on top. However, obtaining new sand requires extracting it from the sea, where it is no longer abundant. This practice has depleted the natural resource and accelerated coastal erosion, posing a serious threat to the island's fragile ecosystem.
And here it looks like this entire island is covered with those patches of shallots and garlic. Like there is not a spot that is missing. It almost feels like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like we are at the second place.
A fishing cave. Everybody here is so friendly. They're walking around with their fishing tools.
Yeah, they don't even mind like you stopping them and asking questions. There's the cave you were talking about. There's honestly not much up here.
But look at the route boats along with the nets that people have here. I think this place can be an ideal place for pitching a tent and camping. On this wall, there are so many pieces that you can hold on to. Look at this. And it's so dark. It's like maybe it got burned when the volcanoes erupted. And some of the caves, as you can see, there's one here, and the biggest one is right there. Look at how big this whole thing is, man.
You can also see other boulders or smaller encased in all of the lava that had spilled over. It almost looks like it was mixed with concrete, you know?
Nestled at the foot of Thoi Loi Mountain, Hanko is a small yet striking part of the towering cliff that stretches along the coastline. Carved by the forces of wind and sea over time, this cave-like formation also features a beach where visitors can set foot. Hence, it's become a favorite spot for nature lovers and outdoor enthusiasts, offering breathtaking views. Its massive sheer cliff adorned with textured volcanic rock and embraced by the blue sea makes it a perfect spot for stunning photographs.
We're gonna have our little mermaid moment, you know?
Look at the water, it's so crystal clear.
Okay, I just found something really interesting. Right on the other side of this cliff here, there is a waterfall on another beach. That waterfall looks pretty cool considering it's a waterfall coming down off the cliff right onto the beach. Look at this one, it's so big. Can I take it home with me?
Nope.
Why?
You've been gathering a lot of like useless items and objects home and you've never touched them again.
Are you telling me I've never touched it again? This is the one that I took from Da Nang. Okay, I brought one from Da Nang. I shall leave it here. A gift.
To nature here, huh?
Yes, and now I can take up another one. Funny, I just got one.
Wow, perfect. This type of fruit can be edible, but you have to wait until it's ripe.
Then, what about this one? Even David doesn't know it. But if you do, leave us a comment below. Back on the road, we're now riding to the upper part of the mountain.
Going up the mountain now, or the volcano. I'm nervous.
This is awesome. We're going to the flagpole, and that one is the Vietnamese flagpole that a lot of people come to check in. I think it's about 20-something meters tall.
and it stands out as a symbolic image of this island. So that's why people come here to take photos of it.
I was looking for a way in, but the only way in is through a door that has a padlock. I wish the brush wasn't like obstructing the view.
But it's okay, because we're heading to the mountaintop where we enjoy both the adrenaline pumping ride to get to the gorgeous view.
Whoa.
Everything looks so amazing up here. And the thing we're walking along right now is a dam in order to hold all of the water in this pond over here. I think that's pretty smart use.
And then they will use all the water to irrigate all of the fields of garlic down there.
You can see the tubing running down.
Yeah. There's a man who is fishing over there. Just started fishing for the day. So he told me sometimes people can catch big fish here that are way over 10 kilos or maybe 20 kilos.
And Toi Lui Mountaintop is the last spot we visited on the island today. There are, of course, still other places to see, but since it's cloudy and can rain at any point, we just wanted to go around the port or the residential area to see how everything is.
This is probably the best communal road on this island. A lot of markets along the way and a bunch of shops, also schools.
This is like the third school I've seen.
Yeah, it's an elementary school.
Elementary.
Don't mistake that for what she wants to eat, because it just means she's hungry. And you know what? Hitting up a restaurant for some delicacies of this island is a perfect way to close our adventure in Quang Ngai province.
All right.
Okay, so we finally are able to order 2 delicacies. So we have some salad of seaweed here. Looks delicious.
And I think the salad is simple to make. I mean, there's just romaine lettuce in here, the seaweed, some other herbs.
And that's another salad using the stems of the garlic plants.
I'll just eat off of your cracker. I thought that because this is seaweed, it would have such like a salty flavor, fishy taste, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Not at all. Such a big bite.
Wow, it's really crunchy.
I can hear it from here.
The seaweed is crunchy along with all the greens they put in there too.
I think this is a great way to end our little trip on the island with the delicacies. I'm surprised the stems don't have like as strong of a flavor, right? It's just a really subtle and nice flavor. I think if we ever have a garden of our own, and we go grow garlic or shallots, remember this recipe. And this is a light enough meal where when we go on the boat, it's not gonna weigh us down too much.
The boat trip or the boat ride back to the land was really smooth.
I almost fell asleep too.
Yeah.
And lastly, we'd love to show you this.
This is it, Châu Sa Citadel.
Where's the building I saw in the photos?
It's just like a wall or maybe a site for you to see. And this whole thing is not even known by all of the locals here. So it's really weird. But it is in a guidebook as one of the spots that you should hit up for the province. Châu Sa Citadel was built by the Cham people.
So we literally just came all the way for a sign.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty disappointed.
me too.
In the next episode, we're going to Guangnam Province, where we'll get to see Mi Shun Sanctuary and the renowned city of Hoi An. So it's gonna be another interesting video. And if you liked today's episode, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so we can make more quality content for you to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again in the next adventure.